This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of Hot Mic, ready to rock and roll on this Football Friday edition. We are, 2 weeks already in a fall camp for some schools. University of North Dakota began last Wednesday, so they're a week and a half in. They got a day off today as the grind is underway because we're 3 weeks out, UND, from its opener, August 31st at Iowa State. The head coach of the Fighting Hawks is Bubba Schweigert, who's good enough to join us each and every time. It's always great to talk. Is it 11 years? Is that right? That can't be right. I remember the day he got hired. It's crazy.
It's 11 years. This will be the 11th season.
Holy cow. It's great to see you. I'm sorry I'm bugging you on a day off, but give us the overview. First 8 days. How's it gone so far at camp?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the progress. When we met and reported for fall camp, we really were really on our guys to keep it really simple. And simple doesn't mean it's easy, but let's really, really be intentional about improving each and every day. And, I think our guys have stayed into that. And early in fall camp, a lot of implementation of the offense and defense and special teams. So a lot of learning and now that slows down a little bit. So we should see that, reactions and no thinking, less thinking and more reaction and those things taking place out there. But you can always play hard. You can put forth great effort and really be into the practice. And that's what we've been really working on and harping on, because that's how we're going to get better, if we're really into it and put forth great effort.
Did you have a fall-type weather yesterday? I mean, it was like 50. You guys practiced in the morning. We were joking off air. Did it feel like fall yesterday?
Yeah, Coach Dosh even said, this feels like homecoming week. Yeah, it sure changed in a hurry, but it was good for our guys. We had to deal with some elements. We were outside and we got a little rain during the practice and had a lot of wind. So, we get used to playing indoors. We play so many indoor games that we need to be out in these conditions at times. So the guys have to handle some elements.
All right, I got to ask you, the new turf for Memorial, how does it feel? And your new office, by the way, describe that.
Yeah, the new turf has been really fun to be out there. It, provides us with a outdoor setting. For some of us that have been around a while, we remember the games out there on that turf, but it's just an awesome surface. So really thankful that our administration, put in all the work to get that done, and a lot of support that came forth for that. And the office complex, we're really excited about it. It's awesome for our team and our program, and looking forward to, working some of the kinks out yet. Anytime there's a transition. So the video is all set, and meeting rooms, the first couple days, a lot of questions, and I'm not the guy to resolve those questions. We had IT over here and getting the kinks worked out, but we're rolling now, and it's been a fun transition to the new building, and we're looking forward to the rest of this being finished off here in the next 6 months with locker room and weight room and all those things.
Did I see you got a nice huge window too to look out? That's pretty swanky what you got.
Yeah. Big natural light. Natural light. Supposed to make you feel better in the morning, in the afternoon. Yeah. But really a neat look over Memorial Stadium. So obviously a lot of great memories out on that field for years. And when people stop by to visit now, they look out over that field. We just had a player that stopped by last week from the 1960s, an All-American player. And he walked up in the office and you could just feel it when he looked out over that field, just what he was thinking about that took place so many years ago. And, the head coach's office is really in pretty close proximity where the head coach's office was in the old stadium. So a lot of great memories and great to be over here. And, once again, very thankful to our foundation, to our administration to put together a plan and make this happen.
Well, let's talk the meat and potatoes, obviously, of this team. There's question marks I have, I'm sure you have as well. When you look at two main position groups, I'll get to quarterback in a second. Offensive line is that, and you guys were so good at that spot last season. How has that developed so far, and how early out would you like to say, okay, we need to have our starting five before the Iowa State game?
Yeah, I think, we're working on that. Obviously had a personnel meeting this morning and talk about it each and every day, but it's a work in progress. You know, what we're trying to do is find our top 5, but also our top 8 or 9
Yeah.
and get the right combination in there. You know, the big challenge is finding the right combination and then the guys that can be swing guys and back up maybe at center and guard. And, you know, I like what Coach Olson and Coach Frichte have done with the guys as far as teaching the offense and implementing it. And I thought we had a really good day yesterday. Our effort was great. Our communication was much better than it had been the first 7 practices. So really looking forward to that. But it's a new group. And, you know, with that being said, you know, it has to be such a group that works together. And everybody in football knows that. We know it. The guys up front know it, you know, just to work together. So we want to get that group working together here soon. So we're going to have to make some decisions, which 5 guys we're going to have out there in, you know, in some time here. We're, let's see, 3 weeks from Saturday, 3 weeks from tomorrow we
Yeah.
play. So we'd like to have 2 good weeks of that group working together, but we also got to move guys in and out of that lineup and find out, you know, we're a couple of the guys weren't with us in the spring that are here, so we're just getting to know them. And when we go full pads and in shells, we get a little bit better idea. And, you know, trying to do as many walkthroughs in the evening just so they're assignment sharp so they can play fast.
Do you want to have that decision in sync with your starting quarterback decision, Bubba?
Yeah, I think it would be somewhere in that area. You know, we'll see. Our quarterback battle is just so close. They're really competing, and I'm really just pleased with Trey and Simon and Jerry how they're competing and you know we're trying to you know keep the reps even and move them with different groups to make it a really good competition. I think it's healthy for our team. I know the guys have embraced it, but you know, you got to get different guys working with that O line so they get comfortable with
Right.
each other. But you know, in this game though, you got to have more than one guy ready. So I don't know how much practice is going to change once the decision's made, but you know, it'll change some. It's going to change some, but we got to have all those guys ready.
All 3 I know are different. What do each bring to the table that you like offensively between Feeney, between Romfo, and between Kaminsky?
Yeah, I think, you know, if you look at those guys, you know, Trey obviously has the most experience and and probably decision making, you know, because he was a little bit farther along in college football. And Jerry is a little combination, I think, of Simon and Trey. And Simon's, you know, really mobile. We had packages for him in the past of running the football and you know, really competitive. And so they all bring a little something different, yet we have an offensive package that we like to run. But, you know, when it is the guy that's in there, you got to also play to their strengths.
Right.
And I think, you know, we've got to keep learning those too as we practice. You know, this is the first year with Coach Frichte. He had the spring ball where he worked with all of them. And now we're getting more and more practices and trying to learn more and more about each and every one of them.
Simon was a high school standout. We saw him play. I saw him up close a few times. How has he impressed you through this early stage of fall camp to say he's in the mix as well?
Yeah, you know, he's a competitor and he's a winner.
Yep.
He won a lot of football games. And the big thing I just think he needed to do was relax and play. Let his talent and his skills take over. You know, there's no need to overthink some of this stuff, you know, just like we did with our team, you know, same way at quarterback. Keep it simple. Just go out and play. You know, if you can play without fear of failure, you're going to do much better. Just go play to make plays, go play to win the game, go play to win the rep. And I think that's really helped him. I think this week we saw a really nice leap from him, just cutting loose and playing and making plays. So that's been really good.
You're a defensive guy, so I apologize. It's been this long, so we've talked about your defense. Tell me about, you have Wyatt Pettigo back. That's a huge deal on your defense. What has stood out to you so far on that side of the ball?
I think exactly the linebackers are the most experienced group with Pettigo, Malachi McNeil, and Kason Kelly on the inside. And then we have Josh Navratil and Dylan Boker and Lance Rucker return on the outside. those guys all have experience, especially Josh. He's played a lot of
Ton of
snaps for
football.
us. And Dylan was real steady for us, and he's a senior. And I know the guys look to him for leadership, not just, on the field, but also the learning. He's very bright. And Lance Rucker is just light years ahead of where he was last year at this time when we played him as a true freshman. And then we brought in, a couple transfers that should add some depth at that outside backer position in John Butch and Riley Gerhardt, from Valley City State. Here's small school guys that are really hungry to play football and really taking advantage of their opportunity up here. But, I think the linebackers bring some experience, and that's our deepest group right now with playing experience, and they need to be solid in our system, no question.
For the transfers that come in, how much of it? I know it's different for each individual player. What is the transition time when you feel like, okay, they should have it by blank? Is there a certain timetable you have on guys like that?
Yeah, I think, the one thing that really helps when they're here for spring ball,
Right.
and I think we see like Avery Scott and Jai Martin at safety and corner. They're seeing it for a second time now and playing in the system for a second time. So you just see the improvement that takes place. And a guy like Jonathan Wiltshire, it's going to be a little bit slower. He didn't get here till summertime.
Mm.
But, once the installation is complete and it slows down, I think you'll see talent show up at a different rate then. When guys are learning, I know we encourage them, hey, just play, just go play. But when you're thinking and have to learn the system, it slows you down a bit. So, but getting into this third week, practice 9 through 12, we just got to see a real progression take place now for some of these guys that join us in the summertime.
Couple last questions here before I let you go on schedule-wise. And you mentioned this during Missouri Valley Media Day, and I know your schedule, but it didn't click until you said it, that you have a stretch where you play 4 straight weeks at home, and then the other game is in Fargo. So you're not leaving North Dakota for 5 weeks. That's unnatural. How do you prep for that? Because that's not a normal football schedule.
Yeah, I think, it's really exciting for us. When that schedule was put together, and Chad Karthauser did a great job along with the administration, putting together this schedule, to bring Montana, the second-ranked team in the country and runner-up in the division, to have them for our home opener. It doesn't get much better than that.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
And then to be at home the next 3 weeks and then go down to Fargo, it's just really an awesome schedule for us. Now we got to really stay into our moment, which is preparing and getting, I've been out amongst a lot of groups of our supporters, and that I think our tailgaters might wear out, and we can't wear out with being at home. We can't get to this comfortable feeling, we got to be on edge, and it just doesn't happen. And we played pretty well at home, but it just doesn't happen automatically. You got to prepare well and play well and get the crowd into it. But we're sure looking forward to that stretch, and we know it'll be a tough stretch. It'll be good opponents, and but we got to be ready.
Opening with Iowa State, Bubba, and I was visiting with Tyler Roll. There are familiar faces that know you. How is that a challenge? Outside, obviously, the physical challenge and knowing the talent that they have. It's a Big 12 school. That inherently there are guys on that staff that know you. How much does that change your game plan? It's not like you're going up against like a Utah State where they don't know you. These guys know you. How does that affect you for that matchup?
Yeah, I think it does, but we also have a new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
So they don't have, that, but they'll know our defense very well because those guys have gone up against it. And, so that gives them another tool in their box that they have, not just one, but Noah Pauly's down there too. And both, those guys did a good job at North Dakota State, and now they're down there at Iowa State. And and they'll have good talent. We know that. It's a Big 12 football team, but boy, what an exciting opportunity and a great challenge for us to go on the road with a lot of new guys and just really challenge them to stay focused in front of a big crowd and, control what we can control and really looking forward to it. In these games, we always try to do a good job the night before, get our guys, get that wow factor out of their
Yeah.
system. Because the stadium's going to be nice. Our coaches have been down there for camps the last few summers. And in the past, we visited Iowa State for professional development. And, it's going to be part of it. But what a challenge for our guys in the opener of 2024 to go down there and really control what we can control and just put forth great effort. And that's the way we got to play each and every week. But obviously a big challenge and a huge opportunity in week one.
Imagine there's quite a few fans who can make the trip down I-29.
Yeah, we sure hope so, because we wanted to do this, get games in the Midwest, and makes it fun. We want this experience to be for our fans and our supporters. And, the recruiting footprint for us is the Midwest. So we got a lot of interest from Midwest people, and we hope they get down there and have as much green in the stadium as we can.
By the way, before I let you go, you got a shout out from Mike Zier the other day about, and he was getting ready. I had him on a couple days ago as they were getting ready to coach or practice at midnight. Have you thought about doing that, about a midnight practice? Have you entertained that idea?
We're going to let basketball do that. I'm going to let Coach Zier do that. And he's great at the breakfast. He had photos of his breakfast, man.
Yes. He was feeding
looking really
everybody.
good.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Looking really good.
It's great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this. Have a great weekend. I'll catch up soon here before fall camp wraps up, okay?
All right. Thanks, Dom.
Bubba Schweigert, UND head football coach, about to start his 11th season guiding the Fighting Hawks as they open up 3 weeks from tomorrow as they'll take on Iowa State. And I mentioned that stretch after they play the Cyclones, they are home, honestly, actually for 6 weeks, because after the Bison game, they have a bye. It's outrageous. I knew they had a favorable home schedule. They have 7 games at home this year. But after they play Iowa State, they have the Grizz at home, which is huge. That's a night game. Then Idaho State. Then San Diego. Then Murray. They play the Bison the first week of October. Then a bye week on October 12th. They don't leave the state of North Dakota again. Actually, they play at home after that, October the 19th. So they do not leave the state of North Dakota till October 26th. They are at home from September 1st to October 19th. I've never heard of a home schedule like that before. Outside, they go 73 miles south to Fargo, but that's it. They end the season tough. They have back-to-back. They have the toughest roadies after that. They go to Youngstown and Indiana State. And I don't mean in terms of competition, just travel-wise. That's the furthest. Grand Forks to Youngstown, Grand Forks to Terre Haute. And then they have South Dakota State and USD at home to end the season before they wrap at Illinois State. That is a brutal November. Everybody's sleeping on Illinois State. I'm telling you that right now. Don't mess with them. Illinois State's going to be good this year. All right, thanks to Bubba for coming on. We'll take a break. We get caught up. We got a few emails to get caught up on and update things going on as the Olympics roll on as well. USA women's basketball team about to take the floor. Back on Hot Mic right after this.